Hello, everyone, and welcome to Polly's Pretties. We are here to do another installment of the hashtag steampunk adventures that I'm hosting. Today is day 11, and it is afternoon tea and keys. Well, I took a little bit of a trip with this one, and I have something special to share with you guys. So, let me get my page here, and I'll show you the page first, and then I'll explain more about why the page looks the way it does. Alright, so afternoon tea and keys. There's my keys on a tag. This is a cupcake for the tea, or well, excuse me, this is. And this is the Tea Master 9000. Why is it the Tea Master 9000? Because all the other 8000 broke. Okay, so, as you saw, that looks more like you're sitting in a parlor. Okay, well, we are. In the Clean Air Dome. And I'll explain about that. So we're going to close that book, and I'm going to pull up something here, and you will notice that it is typed by me, wrote by me, going to be read by me. Okay, so this will explain a lot of that picture. And it'll explain more about our story that isn't a story that is going to be a story. In a time of steam power and underground scientist, Amphisa's sector is born. A strong sector in family, history, and learning, but watch your step, or you might become part of an experiment. The era bridges Victorian and early Western America. In a strange steam-powered world full of scientists, clackers, aether divers, and more. The one safe haven known to all those who remain living is Amphisa's sector. It's an empire strong in their beliefs to work and make this world a better place to be. Toxic gases take over the planet Earth, making breathing near impossible and deadly without proper masks. Most of the remaining life forms have taken to the sky. Food is limited, and the Empire is constantly working to change that. They have found a way to remain on Earth and maintain clear air in the sector. But once outside the sector, it is deadly. More experiments are taking place as they strive to fix their homeland. A few still patrol for any signs of life outside the sector. New discoveries take place daily, giving way to changes to learn more. Some have gone mad from the toxins, and the experiments they have conducted give way to such things as mutated humans, animals, plants, and food. Not all of the mutations are healthy or good. Some, in fact, are deadly. Darkness. All I see is darkness. The words resounding within his head over as he raced through the thickness of the woods. Toxic gases filled the air, leaving him to pant and sweat beneath a leathered gas mask. To provide him air to breathe, Angelus, a man of lean stature and hawk-like features, hair stark white as snow, was breathing heavy with each resounding pump of his legs hitting the ground. Pain, flowing fluid. Angelus was bleeding heavily from a wound to the shoulder. A bullet had caught him as he attempted to flee from the Sky People. Clutching his wound, Angelus doubled over against a large dark oak tree. All were all were black in his eyes, the gases causing him his eternal blindness. Alvilda wakes up, violently gagging and coughing, eyes burning, blurring her vision. Her nose and throat feel as if on fire. Sits up slowly, covering her face with the sleeve of her jacket as she pulls her goggles from atop her head down over her eyes to better help her see. Looking around, she saw nothing but dead wasteland. She stands up, brushing the dirt and rubble off her clothes, moving her arms and legs, checking to feel if anything was broken. Nothing being broken, takes in her surroundings before making her way in decided direction and begins to make her journey and finding something indicating there are others alive. Ganrock would burst through the veil that separated the Aether from his own world, only to know how to do this by stumbling upon the skill inside the mind of a squid. Now there was an animal that gets everywhere, he thought, as he dove through and hit resistance and a distant wetness and blinding pain that came with salt water. Ganrock slowly swam up and up toward the light, for once thankful for his filter, for his ether breath also filtered out water as well. When he got to the surface, he peered around, seeing not only a low-flying island, but a small sandbar. He swam to it, hoping to gather his thoughts and find someone to talk to soon. As Fate had been told by her father the earth was dying, she had prepared for such a time. Her father and her mother had been scientists and kept a close eye on the island. She had been taught all they knew from childhood and read everything she could get her hands on. Fate had kept the family empire up and running as best as she could alone. Earth was not helpful, as it was killing everything from the toxins. Her empire was luckily to have the clean air dome her family built. It made it easier than trying to live without it. She had made many land roves to check out the surrounding areas. One such journey, she brought back 6 intact vials of unidentified blood that she was currently testing. Though she was the resident nurse, she was also the botanist and was working on a way to grow food on the new earth she lived on. Since Fate knew only one family who was almost as watchful as her own, she knew she had to make a rove to check on her longtime friend. Chaotic hears the sound of a rover craft, and hearing a muffled call of her own name, she moves from the chair she was resting in from digging her way clear the night before. She looks outside to see her friend Fate had come to check on her. Ko, being the rough one of the two, Fate tells her to come to the dome and help. Ko agrees and takes up her guns and what things she can carry that are left. She had always worked as a guard, but she was in truth more like Fate's first love. Ko had known of guns and their workings and how to build such weapons. She was also a very skilled guard and warrior. In this time of lost homes, lives, and clean air, she knew she had to do what she could to help. Fate kept alive and kept things going. Angela's sharp hearing allowed him to know that his trackers were closing fast upon him. His left hand fumbled about his pouch and pulled out some whirly knives. Quickly he slid the latches and the light began to blink. Green for a signaling that it was ready. The males' screams and hollers, muffled by their masks, were proof enough that they had come within range. Angelus leans out from behind the protection of the oak and flung the mechanical knife. Stars straight at them. 2 hit with a great precision, cutting clear through a man's jugular artery, and the other taking the second man in the chest, impaling his lung cavity. Angelus smirked, feeling he was in the clear, unable to see. He didn't realize there was a gun to his head till the sound of the click. Once Fate and KO are back at the dome, a message has come through of others being alive and on the planet. The two immediately fuel up the hovercrafts and go roaming to find them in a section at a time. Suddenly they find a young lady they learn is their long-lost daughter, and she has become a well-learned clacker. They invite her to come to the safety of the Empire and the Dome. She does so, riding with KO for added safety. As the 3 now move to the next section, they run into a wounded man of sorts. Learning his name is Angelus, they offer him a place of safety in the Empire and the Dome. As he agrees, Fate helps him onto the hovercraft, and they all 4 race back to the dome. Once inside, Fate cleans him up and gives him medicine for his wound. Now that is where I stopped on that. But this is, in truth, the beginning of a steampunk roleplay that my character Fate was not really a queen because they didn't have queens in steampunk per se, but she was the highest ranking official, basically. Her father was her father and mother both were scientists, and they created this clean air dome that basically encompasses an entire city. Okay, and unfortunately, to maintain the dome, you have to maintain the machines. To maintain the machines, you have to work on them. Also, Fate is a healer. She's also a scientist herself. And there's a lot of things that go on during this. And if I'd have wrote the whole thing down that we did with all the people, because Angelus was played by a friend of mine, Alvita was played by a friend of mine, KO was played by my girlfriend at the time. Um, so yes, there was a lot going on, and this was an RP that I hand wrote. There was no book for it. There was no lesson for it. There was no anything for it. You either knew steampunk and came in as you knew it with your character, or you learned steampunk and then came in after you built a character. But this was the beginning of it. This is how it started. This was the beginning story everybody got to read when they came in as a new person. And then, of course, their portion of what happened was also usually added. And if I'd have kept all the pages, this probably would be about 60 pages worth now. Because many people joined over the years, and then some fell out, and you know, things like that. But this I thought I'd put with my book when I finally finish it. I was hoping my paper was thinner. I forgot this was the only kind I had. Not necessarily nice because this doesn't fold very good. And it's very heavy. But this person in here would have been my character right here. This lady right here. And the picture here was to represent her father. Um, that is what that page is about, because in that steampunk world, my character was very much a hero without trying to be a hero. She was doing what she was doing, not for herself, but for those around her and those who were living. And she was trying, there was a place we had called the Badlands, okay? And this was before the TV show even happened. So these Badlands, when you went out there would be raiders, people who tried to steal what you had. So you had to have weapons. You had to know how to fight. And you had to take, precaution. Okay, because it's also out of the clean air dome. And anything outside of the clean air dome is toxic. So your character could die very quickly. But this was something that was a pride for me, because when I wrote this, I never knew if it was going to get off the ground, honestly. Like I said, it was a role play. You come in as a character, you play your part, okay? But what I thought was only going to end up 3 or 4 people effectively ended up more than 30. And I mean, like I said, if we'd have kept all the records and everything and not lost them, unfortunately, due to computer crashes and so forth, this probably would have been quite large. But that's the part that I do have. That's the main beginning part, and I want to put it with the book. I just thought it was kind of neat, and I thought maybe you guys would enjoy hearing it. It is my own writing. It is my brain. And the place we had was EOD Amphisa Sector, which meant Empire of Desire Amphisa Sector. And yes, it was a very unique place, and we did dress in the gear, and we did have to wear masks because, like, when you went outside the dome, you couldn't breathe. So that's my little story. That's my page. I hope you enjoyed it. This was just something for me to bring about and let you see that there's more up here than just 1 or 2 things. So I hope you like it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments. Did you like the story? Did you hate it? Did you think it was too gory? Was it too scary? Was it all right? If you know steampunk, did it float with you? But all the players in here, Ganrock, Angelus, Alvita, all these were people that took part, and they were very good role players. So yes, we had a great time with them. But I wanted to bring it and share this excerpt of it with you, where it was the very beginning of it, and she's trying to get everybody into the dome and save them, and give them a place to live, and they're trying to grow their own food inside the dome, and they're trying to get medicine, and they're trying to, because I mean, you got to think about it. Steampunk times would not be like today's times. you would not be able to just go out and pick up food. I mean, you're talking about everything on the land is toxic. The air, the dirt, all of it. All of it's toxic. You got to be covered head to toe when you go out. It was just a really crazy time. So, yeah. But anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to shut my face up because I also have other things I'd like to show you as soon as I can get them done enough to show you. So hopefully you guys liked it. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know who your favorite character was so far. Which, by the way, I'll give you a hint. Fate eventually has to rebuild pretty much all of KO because she gets blown up by basically like an IED. Um, so my character has to, one, get her from a war zone area and take her all the way back to the Clean Air Dome and then completely reconstruct almost all of her. And to help out with situations, I build her a robot named Robbie the Robot, who is also very geared to handle business. So, and Robbie is quite tough. And the only two people he will listen to who can control him at all are Fate and KO. So, anyway, I hope you like it, and I hope to see you again soon. Hopefully, I will if I can get some of the stuff done to show you. And until next time, thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for putting up with my blah blah blah. And I hope you're enjoying the steampunk adventures. I do have some other ideas clacking around up here. I just got to see what works and what doesn't. I had one idea, but I think it's kind of going to pot real quick because some of the stuff for it I can't find. I've been looking all day and I just don't have anything good. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to continue looking while we still have a few days left. So yeah, we have 6 days left after, or 5 days left after today. Wow, I can't count so good. Uh, but anyway, I hope y'all have had a great day, wherever you're at. Smile, makes people wonder what you're up to. Hug somebody. It doesn't hurt anyone. Might make them ask a question, but it ain't gonna hurt them. And it sure as heck will do them good, and it will you too. I don't care who you hug. Pick somebody. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Avoid the world's blah blah blah. There's no point giving into it. Smile, hold your head up, and keep going. Quite seriously. Otherwise, it's going to eat you. And nobody wants that. So, that's how that works. Smile, keep your head up, and keep going. Till next time, though, thank you so much for watching. Thanks everyone for participating who is. And I hope to talk to you again soon. Bye bye.